When it comes to Disney and the theme parks, a lot of the rhetoric has not been the best, considering many people are starting to point out a lot of places where they feel Disney is underwhelming in places where they used to thrive, and that is not making a lot of avid theme park fans very happy. But one of the things that we do expect this year are some major announcements at D23, presumably to compete with Epic Universe from over at Universal Studios. And while normally I don't really use this outlet's articles much, they had an interesting article here that I'd like to go through and talk about from Inside the Magic, talking about if Diamaro and Iger don't bring it in D23 this year, it could be Disney's last stand. So we're going to go through this article and get some thoughts on it. So hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic, and we're just again going to go through this article. It is titled "If Diamaro and Iger Don't Bring It, D23 Could Be Disney's Last Stand." So the Walt Disney Company finds itself in a difficult place as this year's D23 Expo kicks off in Anaheim, and Disney theme parks worldwide were once considered the benchmark of excellence, but they now being challenged at every turn. In Florida, the Walt Disney World Resort finds its dominance under fire from Universal Studios Orlando, whose Epic Universe appears to be a game changer for the theme park industry. However, while its competitors have been busy building, Disney has only introduced a few new underwhelming attractions, including Tiana's Bayou Adventure at the Magic Kingdom and updated Communal Plaza at Epcot. I will definitely say I haven't got to ridden the entire thing of Tiana's because I got escorted off, but I will say the ride reliability of that has not been the best. And while it when it first opened, it wasn't doing great, it kind of seemed to be doing better than the other day. Had its worst day in a while, so it seems like that ride is still not being very reliable. And Communal Plaza, in my opinion, is not a good or inspiring area. So, with Disney fans desperately waiting for concrete plans for Walt Disney World and the Disneyland Resort, Chairman of Disney Parks Josh D'Amaro and Disney CEO Bob Iger better have something big ready to give fans at this year's Destination D23 event. I agree. Been saying this one for a while too. So they're going to say, so Walt Disney Imagineering, let's see what you've got. And they say, what we know. At last year's D23 Expo, D'Amaro made some significant announcements that have seen limited progress. Says, sure, Test Track at Epcot has been shut down for a year-long refurbishment, but beyond, there hasn't been much. D'Amaro announced significant changes to Disney's Animal Kingdom last year. Dinoland USA will be replaced by a central South American themed land featuring Encanto attraction. Despite that announcement a year ago, there's been no progress at the Disney park. There have been permits filed for some of the construction of it, but nothing. We haven't seen anything, so far going on in actual Dinoland itself. That's true. D'Amaro also teased the largest expansion in the history of the Magic Kingdom. We now know that project's name is Beyond Big Thunder Mountain, but little else besides that. I just want to say this was a blue sky thing. This was not something they said they were going to do. So this is very much still something that they may do. At the Disneyland Resort, we know that Disneyland Forward is moving forward. Bob Iger let it slip that there will be an Avatar land similar to the one at Disney's Animal Kingdom in Disney World, but beyond that, there's very little concrete information. Say the Magic Kingdom. So what exactly does Walt Disney Imagineering have in store for the first Disney park in Florida at the Destination D23 Expo? The first thing D'Amaro should address when he takes the stage is exactly what will be included in include Beyond Big Thunder Mountain. Earlier this year, rumors spread that Disney would bring Radiator Springs racers from Disney's California Adventure to the Magic Kingdom, and the overwhelming response from Disney fans was meh. Yeah, this is a rumor. I don't think we covered it on this channel yet, but yeah, it was that there would be Radiator Springs, and then beyond that, you would have the Villains Land. Um, porting over like Cars Land is obviously popular over in Disneyland, but I think at this point, a lot of the Disney fans don't want just things ported over from overseas parks or Disneyland. They want original things, and I think there is some. I think it's possible they will actually do this because I do think that they are slowly going to get rid of Frontierland and Big Thunder Mountain. They're not going to get rid of that because that's a popular attraction. But what they may do is, while they're changing Frontierland, Big Thunder becomes part of this Beyond Big Thunder. Maybe it's some sort of desert area. They'll be part of Cars Land. I could see them doing that if I'm being quite honest. Sure, the California Adventure ride is excellent, but fans are looking for something new at Walt Disney World, and they're pretty sure they know what they want. When Universal Orlando Resort's Epic Universe introduced Dark Universe, Disney fans exactly what they wanted for Beyond Big Thunder, and they wanted a Disney Villains Land. Some might argue that they would be copying Universal Studios, but who cares? It's what Disney fans have wanted for years, and here's the chance to give it to them. This has been so there was rumors of a villain like entire theme park at one point. Disney denied this was ever the case, so that was a hot rumor there for a while. This was also again in the rumors of this that there would be the Beyond Big Thunder that would include the Cars area and the villains land like beyond even that. I think this would probably be the most popular thing they could do if they did it, but we'll have to wait and see. But I think that would go over much better than just a Cars land, if I were to guess. But these are again, this is all conjecture on what they might do. So Disney's Hollywood Studios. This is the Disney park that needs the most updating. This is not necessarily an update, but there's more work to do in the theme park. Hollywood Studios has a limited number of attractions and tends to get overcrowded. This is very true. However, there's a solution to this problem. Disney is sitting on a large empty building now that Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser is closed. An announcement of a new hotel attached to Hollywood Studios would be nice, but a new land there would be even better. I mean, if you've seen the building where the Galactic Star Cruiser was, it is not big. So I don't really know where they're getting a whole new land element here, because again, it's not a big area. So I don't agree with that part of it. Disney has plenty of IPs that would fit into Hollywood Studios, including its newly minted billion-dollar franchise Inside Out. A Hollywood Studios expansion would be on the table immediately, but with Disney still reeling from the embarrassment of the Galactic Star Cruiser, DeMauro may not want to revisit that shame. Well, in terms of Hollywood Studios, you have a lot more areas you can work with than what they just said here. You have the area that is now the Incredibles area that used to be, it's like a Pixar area that used to be the front or the entrance to Toy Story Mania. That's just kind of a dead spot there. You also have like the launch bay over there where it's this weird mix of this is where you meet some of the Star Wars characters, but you can't meet them in Galaxy's Edge. I think one of the things they could do if you want to talk about Hollywood Studios, something they could do that I think that would be the biggest hit of it is just get rid of this whole idea that Galaxy's Edge is just the sequel trilogy and include prequels, original trilogy, and all of it, and bring in all of those characters where you can have meet and greets and change that theme of that land. I think that would go a long ways. Now, Star Wars, in my opinion, is a completely dead franchise. I think that as Lucasfilm and Disney have completely basically killed it. So what the potential of that is now compared to what it was, years ago when it first opened is much less, but I still think it would have some relevance. And I think there would have more people coming in if you could say you can meet Darth Vader or, Luke Skywalker or Han or all these characters that people know and love from Star Wars, the original trilogies and the prequels and things like that. I think that would go over pretty well still, but have less of an influence than it would have years ago. Animal Kingdom. So there's not much to say about Disney's Animal Kingdom. DeMar already told us everything we need to know about at last year's Destination D23. However, DeMar can tell fans a timeline and new attractions that will be part of the Central South American expansion. We already know that Disney has filed permits for trailers. Yeah, I've already mentioned that. They say Animal Kingdom here, but we already kind of have an idea of things that are announced there. Epcot, the irony of naming Disney's D23 Expo 2024 announcements Horizons was not lost on fans. It was formerly the name of an attraction at Epcot. However, it was also not lost on fans that every Disney park worldwide was represented in the poster except Epcot. Does this mean that there is nothing else to announce about Epcot? Yes. They're not going to, I highly doubt they will do anything with Epcot, considering they, quote, just got done with the overhaul of Epcot. We know that Test Track is already under construction, and Communicore Hall and Plaza are underwhelming at best. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do anything with Epcot. I suppose the biggest thing they could do out of left field, given they called it Horizons, was that they somehow brought back Horizons, but I don't see them doing that. So I don't think Epcot will have any major announcements. So there probably won't be an announcement of a new country coming to the World Showcase or the revival of the Mary Poppins ride at the UK Pavilion, and there also probably won't be an update on Spaceship Earth refurbishment. It appears that Epcot will be left out in the cold. Probably so. Disneyland, it says Disneyland Forward is becoming a reality, but what comes with that? Pandora is coming, but what else? D23, Disney announced that the Hungry Bear restaurant would become the Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree. So talking about Disneyland here, and they really don't have anything that it could be. So it says, what will happen? Does Josh D'Amaro, they didn't spell Josh right. Does Josh D'Amaro want to be a Disney legend? Of course he does. These announcements and the ensuing construction will define his term as the head of Disney Park. The chances of a fifth gate announcement for Central Florida seem slim, but you never know. I do not see a fifth gate being announced. I would be utterly shocked if they did that. The most likely outcome will be an update on Disneyland Forward, Disney's Animal Kingdom, and more details on Beyond Big Thunder. No matter what DMRO and Iger announce, Disney fans always want more. The real question is, will whatever DMRO announces be enough to compete with Epic Universe? We'll know soon enough. I will say the headline here doesn't really match the article. Now, what I will say is Disney has kind of come out and said they don't feel like they need to answer for Epic Universe. Now, I think that's posturing because I think they know that they are going to need to. Now, I don't think they're in a spot to be able to do it, though, on a massive scale, given the amount of money they've been spending. They spent $72 billion on Fox. They're now going to spend more than they anticipated for Hulu because that one is going to arbitration. So they're probably going to spend anywhere from 8 to 15, maybe more billion to get the rest of Hulu. And Disney Plus, since it's been introduced, has lost about $11 billion. Plus, the box office now, Inside Out 2 did well, but the box office has been a drag in the last couple of years. It hasn't made the money that it used to make. And the parks are now the biggest money maker for the entire company. Around 70% of the revenue comes from the parks now. So on a lot of levels, they don't feel like they need to do a lot in the parks because of that. But given the fact that Universal is increasing, obviously, everything they're doing with Epic Universe, they could come out and wow a bunch of stuff and say when it's going to be done. And no matter what they announce, my question is, when would it be done? Because Disney typically takes a long time for construction. So I've said all along, more than likely, we're looking at 3 to 5 years on whatever they do announce before it is done. So essentially, Disney is giving Universal Studios a 3 to 5 year span to see however successful Epic Universe is going to be. There's not really going to be anything that Disney's going to be able to rebuttal back with it in terms of like major rides or attractions. They could do small things here and there. They could retheme Galaxy's Edge a little bit. They could do certain meet and greets. They could do certain things that would appeal to the Disney base to get them to come back, deals and such like that. But in terms of having major things to draw people instead of saying, oh, let's go to Epic Universe, oh, let's go to Disney, I don't see Disney having anything in the next 3 to 5 years that competes with that. So in my opinion, I'm of two thoughts on it. I feel like they should have these big announcements and they should be aggressive, and they've touted this $60 billion that they're going to be spending in the parks. Now, of that 60, half of that is for maintenance and IT stuff. So you're really looking at $30 billion. How that's split amongst all the parks, we don't know. I feel like they do need to be aggressive, and they should be, but I still think the Disney management and Iger and them, I don't feel like they feel the same way, and I think they're just a little out of touch in terms of where the attention on this is going and really how big of a threat Epic Universe may be. Now, they may understand that, but at least the public statements they make doesn't seem to me that they quite understand the threat that it is. And I kind of still think they look at Universal Studios as like, oh, they'll always be second fiddle. But the thing with Epic Universe is like they're not stopping with Epic Universe. They're just going to continue from this point on. So while I think that D23, we should see these major announcements and swing and home run hits and things like that. I'm looking at it going, we'll probably get the Animal Kingdom stuff. I'm guessing we'll get the Beyond Big Thunder stuff. What's included in that, I don't really know. I don't think they're going to do anything at Epcot. Really know what they would do to Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios is the one that maybe they could do some stuff there, but again, I kind of feel like this is just going to be Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom, and they're going to feel like that's enough. In my opinion, on what I've seen rumored, I don't know if that's enough to compete with Epic Universe in a brand new theme park when you've got IPs like Super Nintendo World and all the stuff we've seen with Dark Universe. Like, I just feel like all the momentum, all the attention, and potentially all the attendance is going to go over to Epic Universe when that opens. And I feel like now would be the time for Disney to be aggressive. I just don't know if they're gonna be. But again, the scenario I see playing out is Disney feels like Epic Universe, like they don't have to answer for it. Epic Universe opens. Now, how big of an impact Epic Universe makes on the overall scheme of things, who knows? Let's say Disney's worst case scenario is it's a major success, and we're looking at the likes of attendance increase like we saw when the Wizarding World first opened, which is like 30 to 40% increase in attendance. That would be, that would be not good for Disney at all. And if that impacts Disney, which I assume that it would, I think Disney operates under the idea that Epic Universe is also going to benefit them. The only difference, though, in the thinking versus now when a Wizarding World came along was that Universal is trying to get people to stay over their side for a week or more. They're trying to make you choose between Disney and Universal, which that hasn't always been the case. So a lot of people just added on a couple of Universal days to their Disney trip. Well, now they're trying to get you to spend the whole week over there. So I think Disney's thinking, I think it's flawed is that they believe, well, Epic Universe is going to bring people in. We'll also benefit from that, and we'll have some new stuff we'll announce, and we'll be fine. I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think a lot of the Disney crowd is starting to really get tiresome of the nickel and diming, of the changes of the park reservation system, of Genie Plus, and now it's Lightning Lane, and everything being so much more expensive and complicated. I think that also is catching up with Disney, and all of these things happening at a time when they're not quite recognizing that, and then they have their biggest competitor having this brand new theme park that, obviously we'll have to wait and see on the overall impact. But as of right now, the anticipation and the hype level of it is extremely high. I just get the idea Disney is underestimating the competition as of right now. I don't think that will happen forever. And I think competition is a good thing because eventually, because if Epic Universe is a massive success and it does impact Disney, they will be forced to make changes and really compete and do things to bring people back to the parks. But we'll have to wait and see what they announce at D23. That's going to be it for this video, though. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel as we do lots of coverage over here of Epic Universe, Universal Studios, Disney World, and pop culture. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about all of this? And do you think this is Iger and DiMaro's last stand of sorts? And until next time, we will see you in the parks.